Everything you need to maximize your crypto journey is here at PDAX Prime. With PDAX Prime, you'll have direct access to the crypto market, allowing you to trade over 50 tokens, including exclusive OTC coins, faster and at competitive rates. PDAX Prime also has a dedicated team of experts who are passionate about crypto and other solutions to help you make the most out of your crypto journey. Plus, as a PDAX Prime client, you'll have early access to our wide array of crypto learning sessions so you can stay ahead of the curve. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join PDAX Prime today. The act of bayanihan, or the practice of helping others in need, is a deeply ingrained tradition among Filipinos. It's perhaps one of the reasons why there are numerous charities, foundations, and non-profit organizations who are always ready to help communities, especially during challenging times. And to encourage and empower these organizations to help more Filipinos, PDAX, the leading homegrown crypto platform licensed by Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, is offering its new service, PDAX Donate. PDAX Donate gives local foundations and NGOs an additional global donation channel that enables them to receive crypto donations from anywhere in the world, so they can do more and help more. With PDAX Donate, charity organizations can receive donations from the growing worldwide crypto community, which includes an estimated 7 million Filipinos. Non-profit organizations can receive donations faster, cheaper, and more securely thanks to the power of blockchain technology. There are no maintaining balances required, and non-profit organizations can easily convert their funds to pesos. Donors can easily send crypto to their charity organization of choice. They can simply log on to the donation page of the organization, select the cryptocurrency of your choice, and the amount you wish to donate. Select the purpose of your donation from the drop-down list, and then type in your contact details. Copy the wallet address or scan the QR code, and you're all set to send your crypto donation. If you'd like to know more about PDAX Donate and our partner foundations, please visit donate.pdax.ph. You can also email us at inquire.donate@pdax.ph. With crypto, we can share faster, farther, and better.
Minsan kasi ang tao na-attract yan, oy, kumita ka, oh, ang ganda ng percent mo, port snapping eh. But at the end of the day, for me, it's important we tell them outright, crypto is not for you. Build your savings first. There are times that, I would want to be upfront to them and say, teka lang, hindi para sa ito. I need you to make sure you don't spend the money you will need to buy food tomorrow and invest on crypto. Mali yun. No? So, yun yung exam ko. If you get lower than 16, build your savings muna. And kasi mag-iiba yung yung decision making mo on trading. Ibang-iba yan. If you have money versus you don't, ibang-iba yan. And if you go to me and you tell me, Coach, gusto ko matuto, I have this amount of money, then sige, we'll take the exam. Pero pag you tell me, wala na po akong pera, Coach, how can I learn? You build first your financial acumen. Maybe crypto isn't for you because it's a very highly volatile. Ang ayoko mangyari, pinangutang mo yung pera mo pang trade, kawawa ka.
All right, all right. Good day, everyone. How are you, Mr. Jed? How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you, Pat?
I'm doing very well on this medyo gloomy Monday afternoon. Shout out to everyone who is listening right now to PDAX Fresh Money, where you guys get to learn the latest in news and talk to the most interesting people in Web3, Metaverse, NFTs, and of course, crypto industry in general. Jed, before we introduce our very special guest, si Mr. Christopher Starr, I just like to start. How are you guys? I just wanted to ask everyone here in the channel. Kamusta kayo lahat? Um, just write down in the chat. I hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to AJ Santiago. Always remember the keywords pogi and guapo. No joke lang. Pong pong shout out. Yeah. So Jed, let's get started with some announcements, house cleaning stuff. Um, and maybe if you could share your screen.
Sure. Can you see it?
Yep, I see it. Perfect, perfect. Okay, guys. So sa lahat ng nakikinig, Christian Caborian, ang galing ka lang dito. Digitex. If you haven't joined it, join the webinars. This is via Zoom, by the way. We had our first day just today, Monday, every 1 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. We are gonna have day 2 tomorrow and day 3 on Wednesday. Marami sobra kayong makakatch dito. All the best speakers. Tomorrow, we're gonna have none other than si Mr. Luis Buenaventura himself talking about crypto and Web3. And then, please, we also had, Kenneth Alvarez, tama ka. We had a very special guest, si Mr. James Afante of Astro XP. He talked about his startup and also the challenges and the potential for Web3, especially for crypto game developers in the Philippines. Sobrang swak to, Jed, because De La Salle is just celebrating their very first um, uh, game design course graduates. So pinakaunang batch ng course
Mm.
nila for game developers, no, in De La Salle University. And then swak na swak because the metaverse is so apt for all of these game developers given Axie and GameFi. All right. So Steven Cariasa, shout out to you, sir. Now, what is in it for everyone? Tomorrow mag-sign in na kayo kasi um we're gonna take DLSU into the metaverse. Shout out to YG Alerts for organizing everything here. But what's even more important, matututo tayo ng all of the, best things, tips. A while ago, I did a talk about careers and jobs in the metaverse. Sobrang interesting, sobrang ganda, daming magandang tanong. So please drop by. Now, on the third day, we have a special guest. So kung hindi nyo pa alam, I'm gonna just say it now. We're gonna have Jihos himself. Jihos from
Oh,
Axie. Yeah,
you
we
got
just got the
him.
confirmation. Shout out to Keiichi Shimizu, but and Sachi Cloud shout out. But Jihos mismo will be our guest in Digitex on the third day on Wednesday. And ito pa, you're gonna hear it straight from us. Meron tayong special na I'm not gonna say everything, but like we're just gonna have special perks or benefits or something dropping on day 3. So
Airdrop,
please,
airdrop.
so I didn't hear it from me. So please drop by in Digitex. Number 2, guys, we're gonna have a special guest today. We're gonna bring him on in a few minutes. But just to clear it, marami ring tayong giveaways right now. And we're gonna give away a lot of things. Most especially, Jed, maybe you could talk about yung mga ireregalo natin for today's episode. All right, this is a very nice yan. Okay, game.
Right. So for our prizes for today, we'll be giving out 3 winners of 500 pesos worth of crypto of their choice and 3 more winners for 300 pesos worth of crypto. So the selection criteria for this episode will be Pat and I will be choosing people who will ask the most insightful questions to our guests. So in order to claim your prize later on, you just have to take a screenshot as we flash your name and PM our Facebook page so you can claim your reward of crypto. Make sure to have a PDAX account so you can credit your prize.
Awesome. I just like to reiterate, this will be paid via your PDAX account. So guys, please have your PDAX accounts ready. Number two, we're gonna change it up a bit. Right now, we're gonna keep the usual mechanics. So make sure you have the most interesting questions posted to our guest today. But next week we're gonna have another. We're gonna change things up a bit and do a little bit of other mechanics for giving away of prizes. All right. So Jed, I'm very excited to talk to our guest today. To be honest, I have been seeing him around in events all the time, and he's also a very good friend of mine. So if you could do the honors of introducing introducing Christopher Starr, yeah.
Right. So our guest for today has helped startups all the way from Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 to launch and grow their companies. So if you guys want to learn more about community building, about Web 3 PH, and the new crypto project he joined, make sure you guys stay tuned. So without further ado, let us all welcome the community builder and the marketing director of Green Token, Christopher Starr.
All right.
Woo! Hi
Hey
guys.
Chris, kumusta?
Hey
All
Chris.
good. Kamusta everyone? Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you on board, Chris. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for spending your time here. I know you've been a very busy at building the community in Web3 in the Philippines, and also I heard that you're also up to involved with a new crypto project called Green Token. I want to hear all about that, but first, maybe let's start. Firstly by telling us a little bit about yourself, your career. Did you start in crypto, and how did you end up in crypto in general?
Okay, so medyo mahaba tong story guys. So get some water, beer, or whatever. But I'll make it short na lang for you guys. But I started my career about 18 years ago, close to 18, 19 years ago. So when I was in college, do the math. I kind of look young, or I think I look young, but I'm old. I've been in the industry for quite some time. My first exposure was really more on e-commerce. Even before that, I was already building website for my classmates or for my class, diba? So I've always been fascinated with technology. But a big portion of my career was really more focused on launching startups, specifically across Southeast Asia. So my background is rapid user acquisition. So that's usually through paid media, and then eventually social media become a thing. So medyo dinosaur talaga ako. So you can see it from the transition of my roles. And social media has become a big thing. So I've kind of transitioned more towards a general marketing, even including events, doing traditional media, PR, and such. And I was also seeing, I've seen one, two, and now we're in Web3, but also in terms of how long I've been in the industry, it's kind of weird. I kind of feel like I'm old, but also new in the sense because I've always been in the community. Um, and so I've been to a lot of crypto events even before. Actually, one of the first, actually the first conference I did that I organized, PDAX was a different color pa yung logo and everything, no? And I'm still not understanding what PDAX was trying to do when I was talking to the founders early in the early days. So I was already in the space before, but usually as a organizer of an event, attendee of an event, buying crypto to just experiment and to learn, not really invest or believer of the technology. It was more to understand because that's my job. And fast forward to today, I do consulting. I did consulting for a couple of Web3 projects. And now I just joined a company that we're hoping will change things also. And very excited now that I have a little bit more knowledge on Web3. And and with everything that's going on in our lives, from the pandemic to inflation to just breaking up with someone, lahat ng to, it's I feel very positive about where Web3 can take all of us, because I've seen this with I used, like, the big thing before was mobile apps. Everyone's doing a mobile app now. So that's how I see Web3 in the future. Everyone's gonna do it, not just big companies, not just your favorite games, but also we're starting to hear big brands to get into the space, whether it's metaverse, launching their own NFT projects, utilizing the smart contract technology. I'm just really excited where this will take all of us. Sabi siya, mahaba ako sumagot.
No, that's fine. Sobrang fascinating your story. Chris, singit lang ako. Is your screen supposed to be anonymous ba tayo? Because it's right now it's just black.
He doesn't want to be
Um,
doxxed.
Really? Really?
it's just black. Yeah. It's okay while you're fiddling with that.
Okay.
Kasi alam namin naman na ano sobrang nahiya ka lang sa showing your handsome face. But while you're fiddling, while you're fixing that, something that really parang popped up in my head when you were talking about your background is really the skill of acquiring users, 'di ba? As we all know, everyone here listening, very important skill 'yan, 'di ba? Even for building a web 2 app, 'di ba? Like Facebook, 'di ba? Everything is highly dependent on kung ilang users meron mo. So, having a skill set na ganon, like some sort of growth hack, is very interesting to me. And it's not even because of selfish reasons, but really because I'm really in a... Ayun! Handsome nga!
Pogi,
Welcome,
Perfect.
Mr. Chris. By the way, shout out to Mr. Miggy Azurin, plus 100 sa handsome face si Christopher Star. How did you know that? You haven't even... Di pa nga nag-appear yung face eh. Welcome Miggy. Thanks for dropping by. Miggy is from Mega Maxi. And more about him soon. But going back, Chris, no, sobrang valuable yung skill na yun, acquiring users. Ano yung naging key to that? Maybe you can tell a little bit about how you did it. Ano yung mga techniques that work? Kasi to be honest, I also want to learn because PDAX is also an app, and that's all what we need to do, diba? We need to acquire users.
Okay. So with me, what I always say is always obsess about your customers or obsess about your users. Majority of people, when they talk about marketing, when they talk about user acquisition, they always look at what competition is doing and they try to emulate or copy it. So for me, it's very important to understand who are you trying to talk to, right? You need to have a target. Kumbaga, if you're looking for a jowa, syempre that may target ka in mind. It cannot be everyone. You cannot go out. I mean, maybe, but in general, for you to be effective, you need to really have an ideal person that you want to talk to and think of it that way. Because your market, they don't want to be just one of a million that you talk to, right? It has to be personalized, it has to be resonating with them. And you don't make someone sagot you in just one day, diba? So it takes time, there's process to it. So for me, it's human behavior that I'm dealing with. When I talk about marketing, it's less on the technical side, using tools or different channels like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, right? Of course, certain channels are better than others in terms of organic reach, in terms of paid media. But at the most fundamental thing about it is you're dealing with people. So when I organize events, when I run my campaign, it's always from the perspective of as a user, what do I want? What are my questions? Where do I hang out? What are my favorite applications or social media platform? Who are the influencers I follow? So if you understand it from that perspective, the job is much easier. But usually, since I'm also a mentor for a lot of startups, I noticed na ang focus lagi is the goal, the growth, even hiring a growth manager, for example. I mean, it's great if you have that budget, but in reality, you don't focus on growth, you focus on your product market fit, and that always entails your product, your messaging, and your audience or your market. So if you have those ano na figured out, it's easy to scale. With money you can scale things, but if you're not able to find the right audience, you don't know their kilite, then putting more money will not solve it. You'll just be renting customers, and that's a very expensive endeavor for any business to do. Na you're just buying customers through incentives, or you keep paying for influencers to attract customers for you, but they're not staying. So why are they not staying? Because you don't know who they are, you don't care about them, you don't talk to them. So for me, marketing is really just people. So Patrick, like you're such a people person, so you'll be a natural in this space if you want to.
Wow, thank you. Nagsama pa ng compliment. Natouch ako tuloy. Thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Jed, baka you have questions along this line?
Yeah, For startups, one challenge is, like what Pat mentioned, is acquiring users. I think it's really hard, and I really love the tips that you gave. But another challenge is, how do you sustain that? How do you keep them engaged, stay within your application or business? So, what advice can you give for that?
So there's multiple ways, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. But on top of my head, gamification is really a great way to um, influence user behavior on your application. And you might think, na, no, if they really like you, they'll stay. Yeah, but there are techniques usually around UI UX, for example, that keeps the users talaga. For example, your social media application like Facebook, no? If you notice, it's endless because the goal of the app is to keep you on the app. So if hindi siya natatapos, you'll just stay there. Now, the difference between that and you look at Google, on the other hand, where it's page nated, right? So that means there's page 1, 2, and 3. The goal kasi with Google is they want to give you the most accurate information when you search. So ang goal nila is to get you out of Google as quickly as possible. So if you are, as they say, if you want to hide a dead body, you hide it at the second page of Google search, diba? Parang people don't go to 2 or 3 pages if they don't find the information right on the first page on Google. It's a bad experience. So for Google, ang experience na yon, they want to make it difficult for you to find more information because otherwise you're probably going to get lost. And if you get lost, you're not happy because you're not getting the right result. As compared to social apps, their goal is to keep you on the app so they can show you more ads, diba? So may mga ganong techniques in marketing, and it's kind of transitioning or a little bit in between as product, and that's probably because my background is kind of more on the growth side. So I usually would be wearing both hats. And in tech companies kasi there's very thin line between these it's not siloed unlike traditional businesses. So for me, again, I look at it from the lens of a customer, not more on like, oh, hindi ako tech or hindi ako UI UX designer. I don't need to think about these things. For me, I'm designing an experience for a customer from the first time they met us until we bring them on board in my application until whatever else I want them to do next. I need to make it enjoyable for them. So gamification is about that. It's not just incentivizing them, but making it fun, making it easier for them. And for me, yun yung way to keep people coming back to you. And again, think of it like if you want to be friends with someone, you want to be friends with someone na you get along with easily, diba? You don't want a complicated friend or friend na hindi nagsasalita pag nagiinuman. Parang weird naman ito. So it's the same thing with marketing. You need to be enjoyable for your customers. So it's not just tricks, and I'm not a big fan of tactics. I'm very much focused on user behavior talaga.
I love it. It just parang everything that you just said strikes chord within me kasi yun ever since I joined PDAX, yun yung lagi ko iniisip palagi na parang how do you onboard people in a sustainable manner? Kasi kung unlimited ang pera mo, madali lang yun, 'di ba? Bayaran mo lang sila para sumali sa'yo. But then if you focus on the fundamentals like what is the need that you're trying to solve, who is your target market, your behavior, then 'di ba, you'll be able to solve that problem by itself. So sobrang galing, like my mind is being blown right now. My next question I guess Chris is kunwari if you were in my position, how would you um attract users in PDAX? Delo ka lang. It's a naging job interview.
Very consulting.
Laging please do your work please do my work for me. But anyway, sorry. Let's take that offline. But anyway, by the way, shout out to everyone pala. We're getting lots of good questions here. We'll get to you in maybe about 5 minutes. But Chris, so having said that, this is your niche, this is your wheelhouse. You attract users, web 2, you went into crypto, and I understand your optimism about Web3. Kasi nafe-feel ko yun eh. I've been with you in Draper. I've been with you in other venues. I feel ko yung energy with everything here. All these kids doing all these projects. And obvious naman that what you're thinking is really Web3 is the future. Now, my next question is, how do you position yourself currently? Because I know that you created this wonderful group called Web3PH. It's a community. Maybe you can talk a little more about that, and then maybe let's segue into Green Token.
Okay, sure. Medyo may backstory around it because for some of you might not know, I'm also an admin of Startup PH, also a mentor at Kubo. So ever since I kind of moved back to Philippines after a short stint outside the country, I decided that I want to give back to the community. And I give back by sharing my experiences, the good and the bad, to the founders that I meet. And so Web3PH was actually pitched to me on the day that I met Patrick Lau on an event. Yeah, it was on that
What?
day. Yeah, we were in the same table when I think when you approached us, ni Lance, we were talking about it. He was pitching it to me. Na why don't we start Web3PH? Yun. It was that day. It was yeah,
Is
because I was
this the
planning.
one in Motorino? Tama ba?
This was in Manduka with a YGG event, if you remember
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
outside. So Lance and I have known each other way back, and it was my first time to see him again. It was, I think that was my second crypto event after, I mean, after the lockdown. So he pitched me the concept of Web3PH, and back then I was already planning the crypto night, which is a meetup or a networking event for the community. Sabi ko, okay, perfect, because I'm already planning crypto night. And then, siguro a few days later, I came back to him and said, okay, I already have social media accounts. I reserved the name Web3PH. What's next? What do we do next? So yun, yun yung backstory ng Web3PH. We wanted to have a neutral place. So despite that we are connected with different companies, we wanted to have a place where people can go ask questions, meet others. And I think that's coming from the fact that I've always been an ecosystem builder in the startup scene. And I've been a founder myself. I've worn different hats, and it's always a challenge to find like-minded individuals, to find the right people to help you move forward, to find talent, to find companies to invest in. It's always a challenge. So it always starts with a group of people, diba? And a group of people can start as friends, and then eventually it becomes bigger than that. And that's what we're trying to do here with Web3PH, is really grow it and also go beyond just our network. Because right now, of course, there's a lot of Web2 people entering Web3, but these are also people who's already thriving in Web2. No, nothing bad about it. That's great because that's I'm part of that group. But we also wanted to be able to onboard even more people because there's so much opportunity. And I mean, now, for example, for the first time, I'm being paid for my time through crypto. Who would have imagined, diba? Like a lot of us get paid through fiat pa, through like PayPal or kung ano mang platforms, bank transfer. And now I get paid in crypto. I'm so excited to actually one day be able to pay also for a cup of coffee or anything else, diba? Using crypto na lang.
Chris,
Kasi I'm earning crypto eh.
Chris, if I may ask, where are you earning crypto now, and under in what form, which currency?
Okay. So I get paid by the clients I have, and currently because I'm with Green Token, I get paid through crypto through my wallet, and I'm usually paid in a stable coin, USDC or USDT before. Yeah, I've
Nice,
experienced also other stable coins. Yun,
nice. USDC on what network?
Ethereum.
Nice. Okay. Hindi ba mahal yung ano? Baka medyo mahal yung fees sa Ethereum.
Yun lang. Pero okay naman siya right now. And so usually there's multiple ways to how to go about it. Kaya I'm saying that it would be also ideal in the future, and I'm super looking forward to it, na you can use it na talaga diretso to ano to buy things, no, services and other things. And I think it's coming. I mean, people are buying NFTs using crypto after all. I think now that people are starting to earn in crypto, it's not going to be impossible. That I know there's a few restaurants here and there, hotels accepts Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, but it's not widely used, diba? I mean, other platforms like e-wallets also started that way naman before. So I'm just looking forward na so that you'll be able to save fees from all these transfers and conversions so that it's diretso na talaga to merchants.
Yeah, I love it. Chris, yung I really applaud your efforts in building community kasi as a selfish guy, parang I kind of feel like building community is the ultimate act of delayed gratification, 'di ba? Kasi hindi ka nag-aano hindi ka kumikita diyan 'di ba? Like let's be honest, you're lending your time and time is valuable. So like I guess my question here is like what is the ultimate goal when you were building Web3PH? Um will there be a subscription, a token? What is your goal? I'm not implying that you're selfish, 'di ba? Kasi event people are different, 'di ba? But then eventually you mentioned maganda yung mga sinabi mo. Having like-minded people, eventually connect with each other, maybe do something bigger. Is that all there is to it with Web3PH, or do you have something bigger in store for this community?
Sure. Now, first is it's not just me, though. I think a lot of people associate me with it because I'm the most vocal and most active, perhaps, among us. But all of us are all community builders. Me personally, of course, I have a different reason than others, but I think we all equally really want to build it forward for the whole community. It's probably hard to think of it na I had that same situation before. A friend of mine naman is very interested in helping the Philippines by providing clean water. And when I first heard, I'm like, doesn't make sense. But I think you really reach a point at your age, my age, where you feel like you need to give back. And for me, I like helping founders because the way I see it is if I help one founder, I'm able to exponentially help a lot of people. I'm helping the customers, I'm helping the employees, the family of the founder. So I really like giving back through sharing what I know because I also got through a lot of challenges in my life through a lot of help from other people. So the way I see it is I'm just paying it forward. So it's I don't want to get too technical. But there's this philosopher that talks about everyone's selfish. It's just that the manifestation of selfishness is different. And so for me, I'm not thinking of it because ultimately I'll get or I don't calculate it. No, I'm not like who's gonna go to the event. I'm not gonna go if I don't see a good number of people that I know I can do business with. That's not how I do it. For me, there's power to showing up. And for example, the Manduka event where I met Pat, no, a friend of mine randomly invited me. If I was just lazy, I wouldn't have met Patrick. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have a friend that I've met through that event. If I'm just lazy, I didn't just show up. And there's no benefit for me to attend that event. I'm not from YGG or, there's really no benefit for me. I wasn't paid to go there. And despite being late to that event, I was able to meet Patrick and I met a lot of amazing people. So for me, there's power to showing up. Second is building a community allows you to have a support group. And someone that started my own business when I was 17, it was very difficult back then to find your tribe, even there's internet, because my family members are non-business owners. They don't have business background. So my parents don't understand things. My friends are not interested in it. So it's very difficult to find like-minded individuals when I was younger. And so for me, being able to give that opportunity, and I even have communities that's focused on students and fresh graduates right now. And I'm fascinated how that's happening now, and I wish I had the same opportunity back then. And finally, you know, if parang if you help your community, if you help the country, it always goes back to you. Helping this industry will give more opportunities, not just to the members of the community, but including myself. So that's how I see it. It's not like direct impact on my life, but I know one way or another the universe is listening and it keeps blessing me as well. So for me, I just want to keep paying it forward.
That's a very interesting and noble answer, no? I love the answer to the question. like na-inspire ako. So for those people who want to join the community, can you tell us more about the upcoming event of Web3PH this October?
Sure. So as mentioned earlier, our goal for Web3PH is to be a safe space for everyone. We want to support all different communities. We know there's a community for NFTs. PDAX has its own community, right? Everyone has different communities. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to meet more people. And so that's what Web3PH is all about. But syempre, iba pa rin talaga if it's an in real life event where you meet them face to face. warm bodies after all the lockdowns. And the goal here is not just for education, but also application. So hopefully, if you're very interested to learn, for example, opportunities in Web3, where do you find jobs in Web3? What are the kind of things you need to learn to land a job in Web3? We have that topic. Or, for example, you want to do trading. I know a lot of topics are revolving top, teaching you how to do technical analysis, fundamental analysis. But us naman, our approach is how do you trade crypto and NFTs without trading your mental health? Because regardless how experienced you are, for example, you're a stock trader, but when you get to crypto, it's very volatile. Next day, ubos, diba? And yung mental health mo is something that you need to think about when you're trading as well. So yung mga ganun kind of topics yung meron sa amin. It's not just the basics of crypto. It's going to be as much as possible really applicable to your daily lives, and not just about how to earn or how to invest or trade crypto, because we know there's a lot of topics around that. We also want to talk about opportunities. We want to talk about your mental health. We want to also ensure good representation. So we want to ensure we don't have a manel or a panel of men talking about Web3. We want it to be very inclusive. You don't feel like you're in the toilet with just all men. So we want to make sure that there's diversity to our panels. Ayun, medyo idealistic, but hopefully through the support of the community as well, we'll be able to see it through and be able to continue the programs after it. So it's happening on October 28th and 29th. That's a Friday and a Saturday, end of this month, October. And it's happening at Draper Startup House. But if you're not in Manila or you won't be able to make it that day, we're planning to live stream it also for free so that more people can be onboarded to this. We really want to make it as massa as possible, as accessible as possible.
Chris, sobra ako na-excite dito sa event. Quick question lang, and I'm sure the audiences will also ask, do you have an entrance fee for the event?
Yeah, there would be different prices. We will be launching the tickets this week. Most likely, it's going to be very affordable. It's really just to cover some cost. But I think we don't have anything beyond 500 pesos to be able to join. I think our early bird tickets probably would be around 300 pesos. So it's really going to be very affordable. And for the students out there, we're also figuring out a way to be able to still lower it down so that it's really become more accessible, especially for students.
Actually, thank you for that. Thank you that you mentioned students, because really, like, I just came from a panel in Digitex in De La Salle University and we were all talking about how the future relies on the young people, and the most important thing is to have a good foundation, have a good foundation of education, skills, being able to program, develop games, program blockchain. These things are very, very important. The ability to sell, the ability to speak confidently, the ability to build communities. Yun yung actually pinaka-rare, which is what you have, no? I'm continually amazed with the achievements that you've done, Chris. And actually, maganda rin yung topics mo, because natawa ako dun sa topic na hindi ka how to be in the NFT space without burning out. Because like I know a lot of NFT flippers na hindi natutulog. Like literally hindi natutulog, and they just wait for the mint. So taas kamay kung sino yung mga nandito na ganyan. Press 1, guys. Press 1 sa chat pag kayo yan. But you know what I'm talking about, NFT flippers na addict na to with NFT. So we really need to have some balance in our lives as well. Yeah, but anyway, enough of that, Chris. I want to know more about Green Token, because you mentioned that you're doing Web3PH community. Yan, may isa na nagwan, kay Ichi Shimizu. Before that, shout out pala kay Aksu Spracky, my very good friend. Tagal na kita hindi nakita, Spracky. Yes, kumain na ako. Kumain ka na ba? But we're gonna go into the questions in a bit. So this is a good segue. And I want to learn more about, so you're doing on the side a community of Web3 people, but on the other hand, and we're doing an event there, On the other hand, you're doing something called green token, and this is a good time to talk about green token. This is a question by Jonelle Tolling. Question: what is green token in crypto, and how does this help our community, Mr. Christopher? By Jonelle Tolling.
Okay, cool. Very, very good question. So first is green token is essentially an on-chain solution, which means put it on a blockchain, and we try to incentivize so that people are able to make innovation and more green choices. As you know, when you say something is green, diba, sustainable, eco-friendly, there is what is called green premium, meaning it's more expensive. It's more expensive to buy a vegan burger. It's more expensive to buy a sustainable, you know, let's say packaging. So what we want to be able to do is through the power of technology, specifically blockchain, be able to reward people for choosing green, essentially, from choosing eco-friendly products to investing or to supporting mga organizations that are focused on sustainability, and also supporting, of course, businesses that are focused also on green initiatives, whether it's, again, could be an alternative protein, meaning like vegan options, or could also be in waste management. So for us, we're focused on decarbonization. We are focused on food security, and lastly is waste management. And the reason why this is very important for our community, as you know, diba? I think kanina we were just talking about PDAX actually enables people to donate during yung mga typhoon tragedies in the country. No, we're very prone to that, and one of the reasons why we're very prone to that is because of the climate change happening. And as a poor country, we are the most vulnerable talaga because we're not the massive users of plastic, we're not the massive users of oil and everything, but we are the ones that are badly affected. So what we are trying to do with Green Token is we want to incentivize people. So think of it like your air miles or bonus points, parang ganon. But instead of just, we can issue as many as we want to put it on an on-chain solution so that it's transparent and it's accessible for more people. So that's in a nutshell what Green Token is trying to achieve. We're very early stage, guys. So we're gonna probably talk more about it in the next coming weeks and months. I'm very new to the team as well, but I really like what we're trying to do in the sense that it's not just for profit. It's very focused on human sustainability and, of course, our planet sustainability as well.
Right. Royce Joshua has a question regarding on the green token. So he's asking about the origin story, and if you're aware, Krista, since you're new, so what pushed the team to make an initiative about this green token movement, and how did it start out?
Okay, medyo may secret pa kami because we are gonna actually launch something right after Web3PH where we'll make a public announcement. But there are some significant individuals and organizations backing us up who are all sharing the same vision. And I guess it goes back to what I said earlier. So some people, they want to help the elderlies. Some people want to help the poor, right? The sick. I particularly very focused on helping founders. So our founding team, our founding organizations, our founders are very focused on green initiatives talaga. And this is not greenwashing. As you guys might know, there's that concept na parang, oh, just to make something premium or make it seem like you're a cool company, let's go green, ganyan. But it's really not. It's within the thesis of these organizations that we believe that it's timely, it's needed, and actually in a lot of Western countries, these are topics that you hear every day. We're starting to see it here in the country as well. You're starting to see a lot of electric cars in the on the roads. There are a lot of electric charging stations now. We're starting to see like plastic bags are banned in a lot of cities. Diba? We're asking people not to use plastic straws, etc. Because the way we see it, and I also agree with this. Even before I joined Green Token, as much as it's great to think about going to the moon or to Mars or in another universe, diba? we could probably do so many more things, not just to make the life here sustainable, but also, to elongate the time that we're in this world. And if you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about, you invest for your future. I think not just money that we should be investing in, also the environment that we live in, diba? Because if you don't have an environment to live in, um, then I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of things are gonna be expensive. It's gonna be harder for us. Right now, water is already bottled. We're already buying water. Imagine that water is technically free, diba? But because it's so dirty, it has to be clean for us, and we have to pay for it. So imagine one day, maybe even air. We know there are air that are already canned, like oxygen. But maybe one day we all need like canned air just because it's so polluted. So before that happens, we see that it's everyone's responsibility. It's not it's not like 10 years, 15 years ago, parang it's more of activism, yung approach when it comes about sustainability. But for me, it's not about that anymore. It's like, it's a must. Like, we need to live by this because we're all affected anyway. Whether you're a believer of climate change or not, I know there's some people who's saying that it's undecided or whatever. But I think what we can all agree with is that, the environment is changing. There's more people on Earth, and for something to be sustainable, we need to do something. And where our part here is incentivizing people to make green choices, so that we'll be able to at least eliminate the green premium that's usually associated with these sustainable choices.
Chris, sobrang noble effort to. I want to know more about the tokenomics as well, maybe later on. But before that, there's a very good question by Sachi Cloud, who is asking who is behind Green Token. So sino yung gumawa ng token na to? Ano yung project? Sino yung project proponents? Yeah, and all of that.
So as mentioned, we will make a public announcement by end of this month, early next month, where we can talk more about it. And I'm pretty sure it's a brand or brands that you've heard of before. But unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to share yet. It's not because we're hiding anything. It's actually more of a strategic approach, so that we're able to consolidate everything and plan everything first before we, talk about it. But we will make an announcement pretty soon. But follow us on social, and we'll keep you updated. But for now, I cannot share beyond that. I work there. I'm a face of it. We're very public naman in terms of my team members, especially our head, si Dom. He's based in Singapore. Sorry, in Hong Kong. We're very public about this, and unfortunately, I'm not at liberty. I love my job. I don't want to lose my job yet. And there's a bigger
That's
plan.
fine.
So even before I joined, it's already the plans. It's not my idea, guys. But I'm super excited to tell you guys who's behind it. So do follow
And
us on social.
feel ko parang ano to, this is some sort of Hollywood actor or some rich billionaire na biglang reveal, surprise, I'm the one behind Green Token. But anyway, we respect that, Chris, no. Sige, moving on. Mark Chua Perez has a question. As we all know, Green Token secures and organizes the startups. How can we say that green crypto really aims lower carbon emissions? How and who are the proponents behind it? So the who proponents behind it, I think we can set that aside because we asked that already. So yun, ito rin this comes to the root of my question as well, na okay, your causes are noble. You want to lower carbon emissions and all of those things. I think you mentioned waste disposal or something like that. Pero paano
Yeah.
mo nako-connect yung activity na yun with a token? That's something na medyo very interesting to learn.
Okay, so one is that there's this component of building a community that eventually, and hopefully in 5 years' time, will become a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization. So that the community is really involved in these decisions, and we're kind of just the central team that initiated it, but eventually turned it over to the DAO. Next is there's the reward component of it, wherein we want people to be rewarded for their time, effort, for making these choices. Not just dedicating or volunteering their time to towards charity work or planting trees. It would also towards purchasing green choices or green products. So we will be launching products later on that enables us to track your online transactions and even hopefully offline transactions through your POS, so that you'll be able to gain these green tokens. And I'm pretty sure you're very familiar with, because like there's airlines or air miles from your credit card or your SM Advantage card, which is the biggest CRM or loyalty program in the country, right? So every transaction is monitored, and you're able to earn points for every transaction you do. So it's very similar to that concept. But aside from you being rewarded, we want to also enable you to support these companies, to support these initiatives, whether your favorite charity that's focused on sustainability, or even companies that are developing this technology. Because that's one of the reasons why these are expensive choices, diba? Because usually funding is an issue. Usually, demand is very high, but supply is very low. For example, for these like vegan options, right? It's very difficult for them to break into the market because the price is too high, and then they can't go mass market. I would know because I also run a vegan fast food restaurant in Green Hills called Break. Diba? Ano pa ako? Plug. But yun, so I know I want to make it affordable, but it's not that easy. We don't have the economy of scale, right? So we're hoping that through this, we'll be able to leverage on not just the technology, but also obviously we'll be able to leverage on that community that's already looking for products like this, and also just incentivizing you. A perfect example that I'm pretty sure you guys can really relate to. If you remember when you were younger, or maybe even until now, if you buy from your favorite sari-sari store, your soft drinks, diba, you need to, you can return the bottle and get your deposit. So think of it that way. Hindi ka naman environmentalist. You don't really care about the environment probably when you were a kid. But you know that when you return that glass bottle of cola to the sari-sari store, you will be rewarded with a deposit, a cash, right? So that's something that we want to do, because then when you have that option, wouldn't you choose that over just throwing that glass on the trash bin, diba? Parang ganun siya. Kasi you can do shopping anywhere. But if you're incentivized na, if you do this option, if you buy a vegan burger versus a meat burger, you can earn green token for this. And I think that's a small step that would have big impact over time.
That's a great, Chris. I'm just gonna play a bit of devil's advocate here. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the project. I think it's very noble, but I just have some concerns with the tokenomics, since the green token is basically a reward token, right? So anyone who earns it basically will sell it. So that creates selling pressure, and for it to be a proper incentivized project, it needs to maintain at least some sort of value. So what are the plans of the green token team to help sustain the value of that token and maximize the earning aspect of it?
Right. So one is that to be part of the DAO is you need to have a certain number of token, and I honestly don't know what that is at this point, but that's the concept to it. So staking is also going to happen, because even for myself, as I stay in this company as long as I can, I would also be getting a token, but I cannot take it out immediately to use it. So I have a sort of like vesting period or staking period of about 2 years. So we have those mechanisms in place so that people are not speculating and then just throwing it away, right? Also, we want to first have the utility available in the market as soon as we can, meaning you'll be able to actually use it more than just sell it. Because in some other tokens, it's really more that, like I said, even me, I earn crypto as my salary, but I have no other option but to convert it, to sell it, diba? Why? Because for me to use it, I have to turn it into fiat. I cannot use it to buy it at the mall or pay to my credit card bill. But if I have that option, it will stay on chain, right? That's what we're trying to achieve. So we're currently working on a lot of these partnerships, both organizations and also startups, so that you will actually have utility of this green token, and you're not gonna be speculating and just buying it and selling it at a higher price point. Hopefully that answers it.
Nice, nice. I love it. Chris, one last question about Green Token by Mark Caceres. In what network will this token work? So I'm not sure if live na yung token na to. And I understand that this is for environmental causes, but how about pure investors who want to make a profit with this new token? Will it be listed on different exchanges like PDAX? Ay, sorry, Mark. Yeah, that's not a question for Chris. We can answer that one. But and be with other trading pairs. So this is a good technical question. Thank you, Mark, for this.
Yeah. In terms of um, okay, how do I answer it? That's a good question, no. Um, in terms of the the current blockchain that's ano, before I joined, it's already on Polygon and BSC. But with Ethereum merge, that's actually a discussion right now, to be quite honest, whether we're gonna put it also on Ethereum. Unfortunately, that's not my role, so I wouldn't be able to share more about it. But for sure, on our social, we can share more about these progress. But right now, you can see our BSC chain address and our Polygon address on our site because we want to build it on those. For now, I think obviously major consideration was because these are more considered more eco-friendly prior to the merge of Ethereum. But I think right now with the merge, actually that's a common question being asked, and I'm just copying my boss in terms of response. Na we are definitely seriously considering putting it on Ethereum as well.
Nice.
Hope that answers it.
Thank you. That does. One last question. Thank you, Chris, for your patience. Si Christian Caborian, is there anything to pay before earning a green token? This is a very good question. Um, Paano ba yan? Do we need to invest first or let's just help the environment and we get free tokens?
Yeah, so right now we have a couple of different campaigns on social that gives out tokens, but we do plan to launch something in around December, where we will be doing, if I'm not mistaken, a tree planting activity in Hong Kong. Excuse me, and basically, for doing that, you will be earning it. So that the first step is rewarding you for your time and effort, and then the next kind of release will be focused on online purchases. That's because of the product launches and also some partnerships in place. But we're most likely going to start off with you will earn it by doing activities with our partner organization. So the first one that I know of is in Hong Kong. Our launchpad is also very focused on Hong Kong. Our company is registered in Hong Kong for those who might be wondering why Hong Kong. But hopefully I'll be able to convince them and bring it also in the Philippines and other parts of. But of course, the plan is to make it global. But I'm hoping actually that the next market that we can utilize this would be in the Philippines, and there's a very strong possibility of that because I'm here, because I'm based here in as a head of community. Obviously, and also the adoption of crypto is quite high in the country. And as I mentioned, we're very vulnerable when it comes to these climate changes. So I think it's most logical to go this direction if ever. So yeah, just follow us on social. We're on Instagram, we're on Discord. You can ask more questions, especially on Discord. The whole team is very active there. So if you guys have any more questions that we can't answer here, we can probably continue the discussion on our Discord.
Thank you everyone for asking those very interesting questions. Chris, I want to circle back kasi ako personal interest ko has always been, doing that hard thing called community building. And to be honest, kahit sinabi mo na I'm a people person, I'm still not that much of a people person to the point that, I'd like to build communities. So,
Mm.
again, I admire you for that. Pero curious lang ako, has there been at any point in your career where you tried to build a community and you found it so difficult and nahirapan ka lang for some whatever reason or parang for some reason people just didn't gravitate towards your efforts. Maybe it never happened, maybe it did. I'm just curious if it did. What happened there?
Mhm. I think it's always a challenge to start one, because you have to find like-minded individuals. I think now it's a bit easier because there's technology that enables you to do that. But so far, in terms of the communities I build, actually, I kind of find myself as like an accidental community builder, in the sense that, community as a career isn't really as a big thing as it is today. And even in the past, community is something that you fold under marketing, specifically under social or PR and events, and that's that's the definition in the corporate world. Actually, one of the reasons why I'm not working on a project right now before Green Token is because that company did understand from a corporate level the importance of community, despite that it's in their mission vision. But that's another topic. But I think the value of community from a perspective of a company is very difficult to defend, to be honest. And that's why when I had my job title with Green Token, part of the discussion was, are you comfortable with marketing and community to be under you? And I said in the beginning, yes. But I do hope that in the future we're able to realize that community is very different from marketing. And a lot of people probably like, what? It's just the same. You're doing the same thing. You're recruiting users, etc. And my argument to that is very simple. Marketing, it has a very commercial goal, diba? So your goal is to raise brand awareness. Your KPIs would be customer acquisition cost, retention rate, etc. Community, on the other hand, your main purpose when you're building community is for the community. And the way I see it when I build communities for companies is that your company is just a member of that community. So therefore, the KPIs of growing that community, your user growth, your engagement rate, that really is more about the community. And there are things that the community cares about that might even go against what the corporation wants, right? Including having competitors as part of your events, for example. Because usually, parang, oh, I'll be paying for an event. Why would I pay for a competitor to attend my event, right? Because you're building a community. So community has to be really a separate discipline. In other countries and other markets, there are now chief community officers. So it's a C level now. But in the Philippines, I do hope that it gets to that level. But I think with Web3, with all this flipping of the business model where community becomes more and more important, I do hope that one day I'll be able to hear a Filipino as a chief community officer of a top company, and not just any Web3 company, but even like a Web2 company, a bank or a TV station, or your favorite clothing brand. Diba? Would be amazing to hear someone be a chief community officer.
I love it, Chris. Alam mo, it reminds me, Jed, dito lang sa PDAX lang
Yeah.
ata merong si Fred. What's Fred's position? Can you say tell
Chief
everyone?
Happiness Officer.
Yun. So, if you it's unbelievable, I know, pero currently, to everyone listening, we actually have a chief happiness officer in our firm. And I think di malayo na aabot tayo sa ganon. Chief community officer. Tama yung sinabi mo, Chris, currently, even in our corporate structure, community is folded under marketing. And to be honest, it's been a parang nuance. Such a nuanced situation that it takes a lot of time to educate people, even from the inside, kung gaano ka-importante yung community. Take for example, everyone here listening, we're all part of the YGG Alerts community, right? So right now, this is being simulcasted with the YGG Alerts. At the same time, we're also somewhat connected to the PDAX community. But then, maganda yung point sa sinabi mo, Chris, hindi lang siya about profits. It's about getting everyone together, like-minded people, and gathering everyone together. And nakikita ko personally, this is all the more true in Web3. Importante sobra, community. And right now, to be honest, I am so stoked to actually go to that event that you're planning. And we'll talk more about that later on. No? But yeah, going forward, Chris, what can we like? So we know Web3PH. It's a Telegram group. It's probably you're gonna do a Facebook group there down the line. You're doing events. Um, I would like to know, I guess, any alpha leaks on eventual plans for the community in Web3PH?
Okay, so one is that we do have a Facebook group for Web3PH. So that's facebook.com/group/Web3PH. We do plan to kind of revive or restart our Discord channel or server. So that's something we're on the works also. Crypto Night is going to come back pretty soon. We are planning to have regular Crypto Nights. So for those who don't know what Crypto Night is, it's basically a community dinner and drinks. It's a networking event where you meet other builders in the community. So from the likes of Patrick Lau to artists to investors to celebrities who are just interested to learn more about crypto. That's the place where you'll meet them in real life. And then hopefully we'll be able to also continue programs after the summit. We're going to look for partner communities and partner companies or organizations to continue the program so that it's not, our goal talaga is not just like, oh, one big event, that's it, and we'll forget about it. We hope that, because you can't learn everything in 1 hour, you can't learn everything in one day. So very important in continuous learning. And so we do hope that we'll be able to have those programs. But honestly, it's nothing in place yet. But we're very collaborative, very open to ideas. If you guys have ideas, you want to pitch, you have a community that needs help and connecting to, maybe looking for a job, maybe looking for projects to look into, let us know. More than happy to share and connect the dots. If I know someone, always happy to connect.
All right, all right. I'm so excited. Chris, any way that you've been mentioning about Green Token's website, socials, and also Web3PH. How can people get to reach you in these socials? Maybe you could list and enumerate them down now here in the live show. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for WebView PH Summit, if you are interested to learn more about it, please do follow us on Twitter. We're most active on that. We do have socials like Instagram as well and TikTok and everything. But I would say the most updated would always be Twitter. So I highly, highly recommend. Just look for at Web3PH Summit on Twitter for the latest updates. And as mentioned, we will be releasing our tickets this week. So it's very limited because of the limited space, and of course we're still kind of worrying about the virus, so we don't want to jump pack the whole place. So it's going to be limited edition. So feel free to follow us on Twitter. From Green Token, our website's greentoken.org. We're everywhere, so you can just search for Green Token. You can follow me as well if you are interested to learn more about what we do, because usually I'm very active on social. If you're on Instagram, on Twitter, I'm on Be Real, on TikTok now. I'm everywhere. So just look up Christopher
What is
Star.
Be Real?
Yeah.
What is Be Real?
Really? Okay, Be Real is the Gen Z's new story. Okay.
Oh
And
my
TikTok just
god.
copied it. It just copied it. So it's a way for you to simultaneously take a picture of what's happening in front of you, no filter, so that you know what all your friends are doing roughly at the same time. So it's actually scheduled by Be Real or TikTok now when you need to post, and you cannot see other people's posts unless you also post. So medyo ano siya, kaya Be Real is like be in the moment, and Be Real, there's no filter, and people just want to show what they're doing right at this moment.
What?
So yeah.
Okay, this is actually a thing. This sounds stupid. Totoo ba yan? Seryoso? Like kung
Yeah.
kakain ako ng breakfast or sabihin ko kay Spracky, kumain ka na ba Spracky, then we'll share photos of our breakfast, yung
So
longganisa
you will
namin.
you will get a notification on random hours, let's say at 2 p.m., and all of your friends you will get the same notification at the same time. And that's the only time you take a picture. And it's both your front and back camera, so it shows you what's in front of you and what's going on with you, diba? So it's very popular with Gen Zs. So it's something to watch out for. And as mentioned, TikTok just released its own clone called TikTok Now. Does the same exact thing. And it also auto connects with all your TikTok friends. So if you are on TikTok, you can download TikTok Now, and then you'll be able
Oh
to
my god.
experience it. It's the
The
new
world is
Instagram
getting
story.
guys, the world is getting weirder and weirder. Like, or is it just me getting old? Ay, nako. But anyway, Chris, it was lovely to have you. Any shout outs before we go to our favorite question, which I'll let Jed ask? Any shout outs that you'd like to make to everyone? Maybe to the Web3PH community, maybe to Green Token, to everyone listening.
No, yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today and for all the lovely questions that you have. I hope I was able to give justice to it because I'm very new to the team. So I'm just winging most of my answers to your questions, but I hope I was able to answer your questions, whether it's about community building or about the token itself or about the event. But I'm always very helpful. If you guys need any help, message me on any social. If I can help you, I would. And aside from that, I also organize serial entrepreneurs. So if you are a founder and you want to meet other founders, whether trad business or tech startup, or you're a student or a fresh grad that's aspiring to be a founder or want to join tech companies or maybe even want to join PDAX, that would be an opportunity for you. You can also search Serial Entrepreneur Club on Instagram. We do monthly breakfast meetups. So medyo kakaiba siya than other meetups because it's over coffee, over breakfast, where you meet other founders and you get to network with them. So ayun, if you guys are interested, if you are a founder, or just aspiring to be one, more than happy to connect. I'm also on LinkedIn, more than happy to connect with you and help you get connected with others. That's really what I love doing is just connecting the dots.
Chris, may two questions ako before you go. Serial entrepreneurs, sobrang interesting. But, while we're on the topic of being weird, like, was there ever, like, who's the weirdest person you've ever met in serial entrepreneur? You don't have to name, parang like, ano lang. Or, it doesn't have to be weird. It could be like, somebody who just stood out to you. Talagang ano lang. When you met him or her, nag-stand out lang talaga. And then, eventually what happened with that person. Yeah, you don't have to name if you don't want to. Yeah.
um, yung pinaka stand out all the time, it's actually an attendee of Serial Entrepreneurs Junior because every time, this is the second time he's done it because he's his second time to attend, is that every time to demonstrate that he's into fitness and everything. So while introducing himself, he would, in the middle of his introduction, he would split, and this is a guy who would just split out of nowhere. So the first time was kind of like hindi siya napansin masyado, but recently, because we had a mic with a better acoustic, everyone was very fascinated with it. I'll probably post it. Actually, I have a video of it because I knew that he was gonna do it, so I made sure to take a video of it, and I really like that because look, for me, even when I introduce myself, I usually introduce myself with my full name. I tell people, some say like, "Oh, it's so obnoxious to like introduce yourself with your complete name." And I'm like, the reason why you introduce yourself is you want to be remembered. So what's the point of introducing yourself? Tapos you're just forgettable. You're like one of these many other Christopher in the world. So I really like when people try their effort to stand out when introducing themselves because that means they really give importance to the networking. And that's what the networking is all about, to be remembered so that you can have that conversation later on. So yeah, super. It's always fun to see these kind of people join our event.
I love it. A split stunt by a dude nonetheless. Chris, before the last question also, may isa pa akong tanong. Um is your name really Star? Is your name your surname really Star, or is it something that you, I guess, adopted for yourself? And if so, what's the reason behind that?
Okay, Christopher Starr is my real name. It is in my passport. It's on my IDs. It is on my credit card. So I did not invent it. My parents are the ones responsible for naming me Christopher Starr. But Christopher Starr is my given name. Okay, it's not my full name. And as I always say, it's for you to know my last name. You need to do business with me. You need to give me a contract or something. So that's the only way you find out my last name.
Oh.
I always thought, Chris, na Star is your surname. So the fact na hindi ko alam yung surname mo, that means we need to do business together na.
Yes.
Let's sign that contract. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
the only time that it comes out when I need to sign contracts. I need to show my passport. That's the only time it shows up. But yeah, it's my real name. The reason why I use it because obviously you guys remember it. And as I said, yeah, as someone who goes to a lot of events, attend a lot of events, organize a lot of events, it's very important to be remarkable. So I'm a marketer by profession, so it's my job to communicate and to be remarkable. So that's why I would use Christopher Star. And a lot of friends followed suit. I know a lot of friends started using their given name also, because it more stands out. And it's you. It's my real name. I'm not violating anything, but a lot of people think that it's connected to Patrick Star, like I think the SpongeBob or the makeup artist. So parang, no, that's not it. It's my real name.
I love it. Sobrang nagsa-stand out talaga, Christopher Star. And sobrang galing ng parents mo for being so creative about it. And it really helped in your career, I think, no? To just really just stand out. Jed, let's take it away, man. Let's ask the final question.
Right. So, Chris, so far, who and what are you most thankful for in your crypto journey?
Who and what am I most thankful for? I think for who there's gonna be a lot of people because I wouldn't be in this position if not for a lot of people who invited me to a lot of these blockchain events from sila Mensch Dizon to I don't know, this is gonna be a long list of people. No, Mensch Dizon were like doing blockchain, women in blockchain, and now she's doing YGG, and her husband's obviously the founder of it, right? To like sila Colin Golcha in back in the days when he was in another platform, inviting him as a speaker to like a lot of close friends. Because for me, I'm still learning. I don't consider myself an expert. If we go deeper into like all this layer one, layer two, I wouldn't be able to catch up on this conversation. So I have a lot of people to thank in terms of my crypto journey. But in terms of what I'm most thankful for about it is, I think I'm most excited about this new mindset, and I've been saying this, that more than the technology, I'm most excited about the mindset that this brings because I have a political science degree, and so I see it from that lens. No, as I say nga, na parang that mindset of giving the power back to the community, that breaking the capitalism model of like you because you invested you get most of the money. Um, that's what's very exciting and thankful ako about that mindset because I feel like that's a fair, sustainable framework that we can all aspire to build over time. But also, I'm very thankful because the opportunities that I get from this is just really like for me mind blowing. For me to be part of Green Token, for example, to like do such like it's such a noble job. Like I was telling my team, like this is such an easy job because I feel like I'm a superhero when I tell this story, and the same thing goes with like Web3 PH or serial entrepreneurs. Like a lot of these attendees are already telling me that they're one way or another invested in crypto or bought an NFT or working on a Web3 project. And I'm so thankful for these people because I came from an industry that's not very far from it. I came from tech, but the tech mindset before is always the race to be first, and it's always very competitive. And not saying that Web3 is not as competitive, but I feel like it's far more open because again, it's very focused on community. And I feel like I get to shine this time more than before. And I'm also most thankful about the role of Philippines in putting us on the map when it comes to you cannot talk about blockchain gaming, crypto, all of these things without talking about Philippines in the global lens. And way back, in my days in startup scene, till now naman, Philippines is not on the map when you talk about startups. It's one of the countries in Southeast Asia. It's always seen as that, and we've been so struggling to like make like put us on the map, put us on the map. And I know a lot of startups are doing quite well, like PDAX included. Being able to raise a lot of money. But I think um, it I think I'm most thankful for the fact I'm able to see Philippines finally playing a big role in a global stage. not just in terms of innovation, in terms of adoption, in terms of education. Also, we're doing so many things to like grow and move this forward. And I'm so surprised how other countries are not quite there yet. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like European countries, a lot of other more advanced, more richer countries compared to Philippines. But it feels great to be one of the on top this time. Not just following trends. We're now actually taking the lead. So very very thankful ako with Web3 because of that.
I love it, Chris. Actually, I echo your sentiments. This is the chance for Philippines to shine. And we just need to keep our eyes on the ball. Galingan natin sa projects. Galingan, build natin yung ecosystem and yung skill set, yung pinaka-importante. And we will have a chance to shine kasi crypto is a global stage and everyone is watching. Everyone is watching in the Philippines right now. So thank you, Chris. I mean, I really love your story. Thank you so much for your insights on community building in Green Token. I am personally inspired kasi there's always that thing called if you're gonna do something, you have to do what you're passionate, what you love about, diba? It has to be the job that you're doing has to fit your personality, your beliefs. And if that's so, if it's aligned, then everything is just effortless. And then it just aligns with what you just said, right? And that's the reason why you're doing so well. Kasi you're really just a people person, you're a community guy, and you're passionate about the environment. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you to everyone listening for tuning in. Thank you, Chris. We love your story and let's keep in touch. I'd like to maybe invite you again for a second session and let's dive deeper into Green Token and also community building. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks,
Thank you
Chris.
guys. Bye.
Bye. All right. Nako, Mr. Carlo Isles, Mr. Carlo Isles. This guy deserves a shout out. Cute ng
Hi,
mga anak mo,
Carlo.
bro. Everyone listening, still listening around. Carlo is our very own head of marketing. Hey, Carlo, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show. Thanks for your comments. And everyone actually still here. Sachi Cloud Kichi, huge. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys learned a lot. Reminder lang guys thank you Chris. Thank you again. Reminder lang, Digitex tomorrow, last 2 days. Third day, Jihos will be dropping by and we'll be dropping something special. And Jed, how about you? Any thoughts on the guest today, si Chris? Anything and any insights?
Yeah, I think it's very, very insightful. I think it's one of the podcasts that I would rewatch just to absorb everything that Chris shared. Since what he shared about community building is very relevant to our work path, right? With this
Yeah.
development, user acquisition, growth hacking, it's very, very relevant. And I think it's really inspiring to hear some tips about them. And I think one of the things that really stood out to me is how noble his intentions are. Like he joined the Green Token, how he wanted community building as a way of giving back, as a way of connecting people with others. And I think it's a very noble thing what he does. And yeah, it's very exciting. I love what he said, and I love how he differentiated marketing and community. I think that's one of the things that
Community.
really stood. A community, yes, that
I
really
love it.
stood out.
Yeah. It's really should be different because the purpose is different. Okay guys, so now let's head on to the prizes. I know we just chose 5. So I'm going to choose right now, Jed, the sixth one. So it's going to be as the winner, no, Roel J Ganet. Is it fine if we expect big on Web3 developments? May big impact po ba ito sa near future? So may answer to that. Ako na magsasagot niyan, Roel. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Web3 is just starting and as with any new technology, hindi natin ma-imagine but then there will be exponential returns. And what you're seeing right now is just the tip of the iceberg. So thank you, Roel, for your question and congratulations to claim your prize. Jed, what's the instructions again?
Right. To claim your prize of 300 pesos worth of crypto, you just have to take a screenshot of this stream and PM our Facebook page. Make sure to include the amount you've won. and to have
All
a
right.
PDAX account as well, so you can credit the prize.
Yeah, so guys, this all of the prizes will be paid through PDAX account. Please set up your PDAX account na. Um all right, let's go to the other five winners. Jed, if you could go through them before we end the show.
Right. For Jonel Tolling, so congratulations for winning 500 pesos worth of crypto. Just make sure to take a screenshot of this webinar and PM our Facebook page in order to claim your reward. Make sure to include the amount you've won and to have a PDAX account as well so you can claim your prize.
Okay, I think Jed, we have to also clarify no which
Right.
amount are they winning? Tama ba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jonel, you won 500 pesos. Also, Roel J. Ganet. So that's two winners already of 500 pesos. Remember, we only have three winners for 500 peso prize pool and another three for the 300 peso prize pool. All right. So for the next winner is, hold on, Mark Caceres for asking this question. So congratulations, Mark, for winning 500 pesos worth of crypto. And as mentioned earlier, to claim your prize, just take a screenshot of this stream and PM our Facebook page, including the amount you've won. Again, you've won 500 pesos worth of crypto of your choice. So thank you, Mark. So for our next winner is Royce Joshua. So thank you, Royce, for asking this question. So as mentioned earlier, you've won 300 pesos worth of crypto, and to claim your prize, just take a screenshot of this webinar and PM our Facebook page along with the amount that you've won. And make sure to have a verified PDAX account as well so we can credit your prize. Next winner is Sachi Cloud. Hold on, let me look for. There we go. Congratulations, Sachi, for asking this question. You've won 300 pesos worth of crypto. So just take a screenshot and PM our Facebook page in order to start claiming your prize. And for our last winner is Mark Chua Perez. So thank you, Mark, for asking this question, and you've just won 300 pesos worth of crypto. So to claim your prize, as mentioned earlier, just take a screenshot of this webinar and PM our Facebook page so you can claim your reward.
Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Guys, tune in for next week. We're gonna have something special. We have a special guest and also we're gonna change things up. Hindi na lang tayo magtatanong just to get the prizes. We're gonna do some games. So tune in. It's gonna be fun. And personally, excited na ako. Actually, I wanted ayusin niyo yung mga voice niyo. Just be sure na ready kayo to be live on stage next week, no? Because that's what I wanted to add. Yeah. Yeah. Magiging masaya yan, guys. So we're gonna have like some bit of games and also live tayo ngayon. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Jed, it's been a wonderful session again of Fresh Money. Please stay tuned, guys, for more guests next week. We're gonna have actually another. I'm looking to have feature another play to earn game. Very exciting play to earn game that's gonna launch soon. So stay tuned for that special episode. We're gonna do a special episode for that one. But then next week again, special prizes await. So guys, please stay tuned. Again, don't forget Digitex Tuesday, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Tune in, guys, to the Zoom webinars 1 to 5 p.m. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Jed, thanks again, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks again, Pat.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.